time, just to see if we've got it functional. There we go. That's what it was. It was just the wrong quality for live streaming. So, now that I've actually got it working, welcome to Shoot the Shit number 4, I think it is. Obviously, it's been a while since I streamed anything. Least of all, a Shoot the Shit. But I figured may as well give kind of a update on how my life's going. All while y'all get to watch me waste time shooting zombies. Let me see how long this is. Check something. Yeah, it sounds like the audio is way too high. So let me check this now. Hold on. Way too high. So let me check this now. Oh, that's fun. I hadn't. Okay. I think it's still just too high. Okay, I'm gonna try to talk around it at this volume. See if that works. Quick check. See if that works. Quick check. Somehow I keep missing my mute button, and I'm so sorry. I swear I'm better than this one. But yeah, this seems like the volume's a little better adjusted. I can adjust it more as we go. But so, in case this is your first Shoot the Shit stream, this is essentially a stream where I'll just play whatever game happens to be kind of on my docket. And right now I'm trying to catch up to a friend of mine's camo progress. I'd say just their rank, but I would never catch up to them. I think they just entered Prestige 4 and they're about to hit Prestige 5, if not have already hit 5. I'm at Prestige 1, rank 24. So not racing to try to catch up to their rank, but am trying to at least catch up a little bit with their camos. Which is why we're here. As for the Shoot the Shit portion, just it's essentially whatever comes to mind to talk about. So instead of necessarily commenting on the game, which admittedly there will be a good deal of that because my brain's an absolute mess. So it's going to end up being a good bit of what's happening in front of me. But mostly wanted to kind of fill people in about how my life's going, and also anyone who wants to say anything is more than welcome to talk about what's going on in their life. Shoot the Shit doesn't have to go just one way. So let me fill you in a little about mine right now, since I want to make certain that it's not just one way from y'all as well. So it's not that it's been rough lately. My life's realistically been fine. For those of you who don't know, when I'm not doing this, which is the very vast majority of the time, I work at Walgreens. And I'm incredibly burnt out from it. It's difficult when you're... Fire sale. It's difficult whenever you're working at a company that all of a sudden you decide one day to look into the stock market and how that works. And I'm also spinning this just for the sake of spinning it. Unless like a Reagan or something pops out, I'm not going to grab it because I'm way more set than I ever would need to be. Yeah, nope. So maybe half a year into my time at Walgreens, I decided, hey, I want to learn about the stock market, because I think that was either just before or just after the whole GameStop stock explosion. I was like, hey, if I had known about this, I could have made some really good money, obviously. And so I decided to start looking into it, and saw that Walgreens stocks had been like 20-ish a share whenever I had first started, but had gone down. And so early on, I was aware, okay, the company doesn't seem like it's doing very well. Maybe I should be looking for a new job. But I didn't really, because I was happy in the position I was in. It was better than the job I'd had prior. For one, I got breaks. So that was nice. And I got paid a bit more. And then my first year kind of ended. And because of how bad the company was doing, the most anyone was supposed to get was a 1% raise. Which felt kind of mocking. It's clearly not intended to be, or wasn't intended to be kind of mocking. But it was just, that's how bad the company was doing. And when you compare it to other retail pharmacies like CVS, their stock was doing far better. I haven't switched over to CVS, don't ask me why, but I have considered it. But I stuck with Walgreens because I'm loyal to a fault. Not to the company, thank goodness, but to the team I had. So I stuck around, and I've just watched the stock plummet more and more, and hours get cut more and more, and the workers we've got get burnt out worse and worse. And it becomes a sort of situation where I don't know what a good route forward is, but I know I can't stay with this company much longer, because it would not shock me if Walgreens stops existing in the next 5 years. And that's a terrifying thought, especially because I've been trying to... So for those of you who don't know, because I don't think I've actually streamed anything since, which is also crazy to think about. I definitely haven't streamed an STS. I'm engaged. I and my fiance got engaged October 20... Oh no, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I want to say we got engaged October 28th of last year. My mix-up is I can never remember if it's the 28th or the 27th. But so... It's been a year of us being engaged. And admittedly, prior to us getting engaged, they had said that they wanted to be engaged for a good bit of time. Just kind of to get to, not to get to know each other better, because obviously, if you don't know each other pretty well, like, don't get engaged. But just kind of to get familiar with being engaged and get to kind of enjoy that time of just being engaged. If I'm entirely honest, I'm certain they'll end up watching this later and get mad at me. I think it's that they were afraid that... So they have a friend who told them, like, hey, like, enjoy dating and, like, be engaged and stuff, because once you're married, things change. And couldn't really give an explanation. Just essentially, yeah, things change. I don't know what that change would be, or was for this person. But I wholeheartedly believe it scared the crap out of my fiance. Which is why they're so... why they had been so hesitant to get married quickly and wanted to be engaged for a bit. The issue now is not that they're still hesitant. I think they've come to realize and not be as spooked by the idea of being married, because they're like, yeah, if he hasn't changed yet, he's not gonna turn into someone different. This is who I got engaged to, is who I'm gonna end up marrying, so problem solved. The issue now, and the problem we have now, is getting the actual funding for a wedding. So I'm not gonna say anything too deep about the situation. Just that we're not really expecting any help from her side. And so we're trying to make certain that we can handle it ourselves, so that way it's fine that they don't contribute. And weddings are so fucking expensive. And I've heard the kind of arguments of like, well then just don't do a wedding. Why do something so expensive when you could just like do a courthouse wedding and be married that way? Like, whether you don't have to spend a ludicrous amount, a ludicrous. I always mix that up recently. Blame the State Farm ads. You don't have to spend a ludicrous amount of money to get married. You can just pay the like 15 or so for a marriage license and kind of call it a day, go down to the courthouse. And we've considered it, but not too seriously, because we don't want a courthouse wedding. They've talked about how they've kind of envisioned their wedding since they were a kid. And so they don't want to just go down to a courthouse. They want that day to be special, and I wholeheartedly support that. It's just definitely difficult to get the money for that. If anybody watching this wants to help, like, reach out, but obviously this isn't me asking for anybody to. Just again, keeping you filled in. What am I doing? Got about 172 kills left. And then we can switch guns here. Toss some of those on. So I've been meaning to do the melees. And I've got the baseball bat set. I just can't get the knife done until I'm 27. Because I need to be able to put Brain Rot on, which unlocks at 27. It's really unfortunate. But once I get this one done, I'll probably switch over.
Get to work, Boots. Do not embarrass
I'll probably end up closing this one out and opening a new match, trying to get back to this point. So for anyone who's looking and is curious, this is the directed mode, which Treyarch added as a way to try to help new players get into zombies, or more specifically get into doing Easter egg. It's still not easy. Like, you want to at least understand the basics of zombies before trying it, or rather before trying the actual Easter egg portion. But was that a collapse? That's unfortunate. But what's interesting about it, and why it's become a lot of Camo Grinder's kind of favorite thing, is it's round capped. So depending on what you do with the Easter egg, as you do Easter egg steps, the round cap goes up. So like if I were to go do what it's telling me to of investigate the mysterious device in there, that would raise the round cap up to maybe like 12 or 13. It ends up capping completely at 15. But, sorry, wow, that was gross. By keeping it at 11 and staying on this rooftop, there's a mangler who comes out of that window basically every single time it kind of resets. And for the opal camo, you need a metric butt ton of those guys. I want to say it's 30 per gun, which is a lot.
That puts my body count at about 10 graveyards full.
The good news is, or let me rephrase that. The good news is, with directed mode, easy way to get them. Bad news is, before you can even start on that step, you need to have the 33 weapons gold. There's 25. 2 more, and I can get brain rot onto a knife. Which is why I'm saying once I've got these next 113 kills, I'll just start over, essentially. Because as fun as it is to say, in my match I've got 4,500 kills, I don't really have, like, I don't have access to a knife right now. I've just got the baseball bat. And I could try opening the vault and using some of the keys for it, but that's not a guarantee. Versus starting over and getting back to this point, which admittedly would take a little bit. Having everything triple papped and highest rarity takes some time, but it's not the end of the world. And since it's directed mode, I don't even think I needed triple papped on just this basically stock Val to get it to one tap. I guess it's not quite stock. I think that's, yeah, it's got a sight, and I think that's a long barrel maybe, but it may as well be stock. Actually, no, I don't think that's long barrel. I think this is stock, just with a sight on it. Yeah, I'll end up switching over, tossing on a different gun that I have been kind of wanting to work my way through. And I'll end up coming back to the Val, because I won't be getting it gold here, just up to Purple Tiger, because gold I'll end up needing to go to the other map for, because I need parasites. And while it's not faster to get everything I need on the other map, it would be quicker at least to get the parasites if I do the other map standard mode instead of direct mode. Because obviously once you hit the round cap, you don't get the dog rounds anymore. Which I know they're not dogs anymore, but I'm going to continue calling them dog rounds because that's how I learned them. And I want the dogs back. Forced good. Ow, holy cow. We're getting there, folks. Otherwise in my life, I've been... So I haven't spoken about this really. I've been looking into continuing doing performance stuff. So I'd been in a band for goodness, a year or more while living where I am. It's kind of why I came. It's not the only reason I came back. Obviously, I came back here after graduation because my fiance was still living here. But I came back the other reason because I want to keep doing stuff with this band, and then I'm sure I've streamed since then, just not an STS.
Double point.
But they kind of kicked me out of nowhere. No explanation. It's been pretty much radio silence from all of them. The only instances it hasn't been is whenever I happen to run into one of them out in the wild. I think it's only happened twice. And it's a pity, because they were some of the best, if not only, friends I kind of had around here. So it hurt to lose that. I hadn't really performed much since then, aside from some solo voice stuff. Church gigs are wonderful paying, and have really kind of challenged me. Which sounds... Oh, okay. Which sounds weird hearing it phrased that way. The gigs I've done have been very, let's call them not as common experiences for most vocalists. So like any classically trained vocalist, you're going to probably end up doing at some point a Catholic Mass. There's Purple Tiger, let's fucking go. I don't even need headshots anymore. And so that's one thing. But I wasn't prepared. I mean, I was by the time I did it. I don't think I was mentally prepared to do a Catholic Mass in Tagalog, which is the language of the Philippines. And then past that, I've done some Jewish synagogue gigs in Hebrew. It's been really enjoyable, kind of being challenged to that was weird. I don't know why it gave me -1 tokens, but okay. Sure. Yeah, there's where my Val has gotten itself to. Suffice to say, I've been working on / with him for a while. Now he can just sort of sit in here for a bit. You're pretty close actually, so we can probably finish you off just real nice and speedily here. And we don't need any lasers. Yeah, I've been trying to get back into performing beyond just that. I bought a mic maybe a year or so ago, and all the stuff to connect this to my phone to actually do some recording, and then never really figured out how to do it, and then life just got way too busy to keep up with it. I wanted to, but I didn't really get the time that I wanted to.
Blanchard, how copy? I've barricaded the command center. Got a little dinged up.
For anyone curious, yes, I did buy the bundle. Yes, it was entirely because Flamey Dragon. Leave me alone. Also, the two different melee weapons are really trippy. So when you go from one,
Search the area. We've got 3 Janus science personnel missing.
you go from one to the other, you forget the difference in speed. So like the knife's a one hit for longer, it just does more damage generally. But I will completely overestimate how quickly it can move. But so like for the first 3 rounds, which in directed mode, if you don't open anything, is what it's capped at,
all my problems with bullets.
the knife is a one shot. Now that's awesome for us because it means we can just continually knife things forever. Well, I've already got my 2,000 knife kills. At this point, I just need some armored zombie kills and brain rot kills.
Insta-kill.
Now head off into the sunset.
I've been wanting to get into like voice acting just because that's been something on my mind for a while. And I've got I've got this song in my head. And I've been meaning to get it all kind of transposed out. Transposed? Sorry, wow. Wanted to get it all transcribed and just haven't had the time. And the software I'm used to using for transcription just decides it wants to fail on me constantly. Because as soon as I start adding in more than like 5 measures on a second line, it just slows down to a ridiculously slow speed. So I'm realizing I may need to just notate it by hand, which takes a good bit longer, especially when you don't have access to a keyboard, which is something I've been meaning to invest in as well. So I have up to this point been trying to get it by hand, entirely based off of the intervals. Ew. It's like I'll listen and be like, alright, here's the note that was just on, here's the note I'm going to. Well, I was able to figure out this note was a D, and so therefore this interval is a fifth up. So I'm looking at A, and then just keep going there like that, and trying to hear it all in my head as I'm writing out accompaniment and such. That's where it gets a little trickier. He's trying to make certain, does that sound quite right? Have I actually got these correct? Maybe there's one note wrong somewhere that ruins everything. It's hard to say. It definitely doesn't make itself easy. And that's not a problem, just a nuisance. But I've been looking to do something that feels more what I want to do. Been looking a little bit into music therapy. There's not a ton I can pursue that direction, at least not the way I'm set right now. Just because I don't have the qualifications. And it's also just a really kind of niche field. But it is something that's interested me, especially because I don't know how I would test this ethically. But I've been deeply curious about the effects of atonal music as a grounding tool for people with mental illness. So I'll just be outright about it. This election, I can't put into words, not right this moment, because I don't think I can focus on that. Nothing else happening. I can't put into words how disappointed I am. How truly horrified I am at the American people. And as kind of asshole-ish as I can be of the told you so, I really don't want to this time. I'd really love to be completely incorrect. There are very few things I would like more than to be able to say in 4 years, you know what? I was totally wrong. This was a totally fine call. Everything's good. I would love, more than anything, be able to say that. But I haven't been wrong yet. And I hope I get the chance to be, because I don't like the alternative. After the election results. No. It was before it was called. But day of, my fiance and I were watching kind of votes come in. And of course we were expecting Trump to be leading.
Bonus points.
Historically speaking, there's a precedent where just Republican votes tend to happen at the ballots day of at a much higher rate than Democrat votes, which tend to come in primarily via mail-in or absentee. So you're going to see the Republican side look a lot further supported early on because those votes get counted a lot quicker. But it was...
See? I don't solve all my problems with bullets.
When we were going... Like when it was night. And so we're heading to bed. It's like, wow, that's... We're still not as caught up as we were supposed to be. And I'll kind of be outright about it. I had my first actual panic attack. Anxiety attacks I've had all the time. Those are nothing. But this was my first panic attack. Like, grabbing my chest. Like, fuck, I think I'm gonna die. Obviously, didn't die. Survived the panic attack. I'm unkillable. But what helped ground me more than anything, oddly enough, was an atonal piece, which I tossed on, because I just had a hunch it was going to work. Which is Monstruken from Pierrot Lunaire, which, if you haven't heard it, I'd normally say go look this up, go listen to it. It's a lot. So if you're not kind of mentally prepared to listen to atonal music, like, don't bother. It is a lot.
This time, stay down.
Have I gone up a level yet? No. But atonal music, just generally, is basically the concept of music where the point is to not have a tonal center. So how most songs, you've got some sort of key it's in. If you listen to it, and especially if you're trained on how to do it, you can listen to any song and hear, okay, it's in this key because here's Do. Atonal music doesn't have that. You can't listen to it and go, here's Do. There is no Do. It will use whatever notes at whatever time. Just because. And the point becomes less of, I like these notes, and so we're going to use these notes, and more a, we want this feeling expressed. And there are some things I think are just better expressed through atonality.
Hit the deck, fuckface. It's where you belong. Splat! Like a bad muskmelon.
Some of those things being like anger, hurt, fear, just general chaos. And that's not to say that atonal music can't be beautiful, but it's certainly a subjective beauty. But it's oddly a structured beauty, or at least it can be. Because despite how it sounds, atonal music is very rarely random. there's usually a lot of conscious thought and input that goes into it. Because, of course there is. You kind of need there to be. Otherwise, it's not music, it's just sound. And so, for myself, it was a very good way to kind of ground and give myself, hey, I'm panicking, why am I panicking? I don't know if it was, oh, because this music is unsettling. Or if it was able to be a, I don't know why I'm panicking, but I know what to expect from this atonal music. Which, again, feels very wrong to say. How can you expect anything from music where there isn't an expectation put forward? But I know the piece. And more than that, it has logic to it. Whether or not it makes sense to, like, the average person, that's neither here nor there. The reality is, it makes logical sense.
Step to me, and you may not walk away.
And then that made me curious, okay, well, since this worked on me, what are the odds that something like serialism would do the same sort of thing, but even better? So for those of you who don't know, serialism is the concept of using different series in music, and so you can set up a whole matrix to determine what your series are. Basically, you can't repeat any kind of ordering of notes until you've done all the other permutations of it. So like if I start on C and go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, or rather C, D, E, F, G, A, B, then the next time I go back to C, I can't go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. It has to be something else. This is separate from 12-tone serialism, which kind of gets rid of the series concept.
Well, well, well. Where you been
And
all my life?
instead focuses on the individual notes. So instead of, oh, I can't do that series again until I've got
Quickest way to drop 'em.
all the other series done, becomes, oh, I can't make that note until all the rest of the notes have been done.
Insta-kid.
Which always sounds a lot crazier to me. But makes sense. It becomes the music of math. This was, in case you don't know, I'm assuming most of you don't know much, if anything, about music history, so just roll with me every time I say that. It was really kind of popularized and developed through the Second Viennese School, which was Schoenberg, Berg, and Webern. And they...
Gonna need all the body bags when
It was
this is
meant
over.
to be kind of a question on what is music, and a challenging of, well, is this music? Is this music? It has notes, it has rhythm. Even if they don't make sense together, is it still music? And then I think in many ways it became, maybe it does make sense together. But that's neither here nor there. And so I've been curious to see what effect it has on other people who are similarly mentally unwell.
Bonus points.
But of course, that's difficult to get a test on when you would need to essentially cause a panic attack in a patient. It's not exactly the most accepted action. So I don't know how I would test it. So I'm not gonna pretend like I've got an answer.
And that's how you do it.
But I'd be curious. How's our double going? I think we've got like 15-ish minutes left on it. It's the sort of thing where I have learned I just really, beyond anything, don't want to be at Walgreens long term. It's not what I've wanted, it's not where I want to be. I've got other desires I'd like to pursue. Especially because working, especially retail, there's no way for me to be able to go see my family at Christmas. So thankfully, my fiance and I are getting to go visit them for Thanksgiving this year. And in many ways it feels like a miracle we managed that. But we did. And we're excited about that. But it's still not everything, you know? Like, we'd just love to have done
Hit the deck,
Christmas.
fuckface. It's where you belong.
Okay.
I'm mowing them down as fast as they sprout out.
Double points.
Yeah, we'd prefer to go for Christmas, and we're sad that we can't. But that's kind of just what being stuck at Walgreens does. What being stuck at any retail store around Christmas does, especially when your store is open on Christmas Day, like mine is. But we're working on it. We're working on
Same recoil. That's my kind
uh,
of magic.
kind of finding our ways out of there. And it's gonna take a bit, but that's okay. I think that's most of the shit I had to shoot.
They're losing their heads. I'll make a damn sure of it.
Sure there is more, I'm struggling to think of it. But I'm pretty confident there has to be something more. Well, there may be more that comes to.
Turn them to pieces.
How are we doing? We've only got 142 crit kills. It's a little harder when you're not able to set it in semi-mode and just single tap everything. Sorry, I got a drink over here. I got some squirt. Because grapefruit soda is for winners. Shut up.
Max ammo.
Oh shit, hold on.
Somebody inform Mrs. Mangler her boy is KIA.
Max armor.
No coming back from that. That puts my body count at about 10 graveyards full.
I wish I'd thought to look at what extra tasks the SOG needs. Tell you what, fun little thing. I can check that right now. I will say this is something I love that Black Ops 6 has added, is the ability to save your match. You can only save one. So like you can't save a bunch of matches and just go back in later. Oh, I guess I got a token? Question mark? Okay, give me that and turn auto claim back on, because there's nothing at the moment I'm particularly looking for. Yeah. Okay, so post 2,000 crit kills, I need dead wire and point blank. So just an extra 300 kills after the fact. Then we can get gold. See, I'm just disappointed by Nebula, especially because, and I don't play Warzones, it's not like I'll ever get this one. But Catalyst, absolutely sick looking. Abyss, insane. Easily the coolest of the three. Dark Matter, really cool looking. I don't know, Nebula just doesn't do it for me. But so now I know we're gonna end up needing dead wire on this guy. Pull up save file, pick that one. So we're going back in here. Oh, about the heading to Thanksgiving and all that. We are. So the reason we're going there, because technically her family invited us first, but we're heading south to see my family instead, because a bunch of my extended family is also going to be there, which has not really ever happened. I couldn't tell you the last time that we had Thanksgiving with anything other than just our family and possibly my grandmother. And usually not even with my grandmother, because she usually spends it with my uncle. Because usually we take Christmas with her and he gets Thanksgiving.
Kaboom!
He's never gonna catch this stream, so I'll just be outright about it. We let him have Thanksgiving because we don't want him to think that there's some bias or that she likes so it's on my mother's side. We don't want her brother, my uncle, to know that there is actually probably some bias, because Not better off, he's absolutely loaded, but like, we're good people. Not to say he's not, just to say. Like the phrase, they're good people, we're good people. Yoink.
Bonus points.
Bye!
Just don't blow up in my hands, okay?
Also completely unrelated to anything I've been saying. Really disappointed by the PAP camo on Liberty Falls. It looks funky. I can't place what it is about it, but it looks funky. Uh-oh. Oh, look at that. We've hit the 1 tap. I've lied. Never mind. No. I haven't lied. It just wasn't popping up. I still hear the Mangler? There he is. Excuse me?
Double
All this and brains too.
Eh.
Insta-kill.
Cross me, and I'll cross your wires. Sending shock charge. Try to keep up
Max
with me,
ammo.
people.
But so, this is getting to see, this Thanksgiving, we're getting to see the aunt and uncle on my father's side, which I'm sure we've had Thanksgiving with them before, but if I'm honest, I could not say when. For certain, I couldn't say the... I definitely couldn't say the last time that we'd all had Thanksgiving together. And then even crazier is that everyone's bringing their partners. Which, like, duh. But... So, like, both of my cousins on that side, one of them's been married for a bit, the other one kind of just got married. So I want to say they're both coming with their spouses. Said just because the one that recently got married, I think there was some toss-up on if their wife was going to come to ours or go to their own families. Either way would have been fine, just to clarify. But I think it was determined that they were coming to ours. Both of my sisters are showing up and bringing their partners. My brother doesn't have a partner. Rip to him. But he'll be there, obviously. I'm bringing my fiance, obviously. But that's putting us at 9, 10, 11. I think that puts us at 15 people, which is a lot. It's not a small house, but like, even whenever I would go visit, back when it was just me visiting, I had an office and a couch to sleep on. And I don't hold that against them. Like, I was totally fine with that. But sort of things like, I don't know how we're gonna fit 15 people. But I'm sure they've got a plan.
I didn't come here to fuck around.
Bonus points.
Let me check something.
I don't solve all my problems with bullets.
One of you be armored, please. Armored. Okay, this is already good enough to insta-kill.
That puts my body count at about 10 graveyards full.
We're not as close as I want it to be, and we're out of shoot. I guess I'll pop one of those for now. And I'm out of ammo. Alright, well. Actually gonna leave the stream there. This was fun, definitely wanting to get back to doing some STS. And just streaming generally going forward. But yeah, had a good time hanging with y'all. And look forward to seeing you next time. Later!